Stalker 2 released last week. And while we all know, because we're a little bit more tuned in than your average consumer about like what's been going on with that development, right? It got delayed initially because it's a primarily Ukraine-based team. Obviously, we know what's going on in Ukraine right now. They started production during COVID, so it's just been a double whammy of just like
Ah,
hardships, right?
yeah.
It's hard to program when there's missile strikes going over your head, right? Like I definitely get it.
Oh
But
man.
they put out Stalker 2. All the early access, early reviews said the same thing. There's probably a good game here somewhere, but these glitches and bugs will not allow me to get to it. Right now, of course, they've done a day one patch. I think they've dropped 2 patches, maybe 3, in the time since the game has come out to kind of address some of the bigger issues. But I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on this because I feel like, especially with a year like this, where every single detail is being nitpicked, and especially when you have like the consumer's graces, right? Of like, say you have to delay the game again, I think people would have been understanding of like,
Yeah.
hey, do what you need to do. Like, y'all are
Yeah.
going through it. Who knew there was a war going to happen? Like, take all the time you need, right? For them to still kind of put it out. Like, do you guys feel like this is a game that's doomed, essentially?
No.
It depends on the politics, bro. Because what people don't really realize, man, and this is something that we have learned from COVID that the economy impacts all of this stuff, man, because it's literally impacting your life. Because yes, these are developers who are going to work, but who's funding them? And of course, you got to release a product. Like, yes, I do believe like a lot of people would have like invested into it digitally, but it's just a simple fact of the matter is like, bro, you're going through a war. So that's even crazy itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're trying to make ends meet by, fulfilling your daily requirements, to push out a product to gain some revenue coming in. But it's just like the fact is like you're going through a war. So me being a human person, I would just say like, hey, we're trying to develop something, but right now we're going through something harsh. So can you just to help us to support our families, can you, donate to our GoFundMe, donate to our company page? Because, when this settles, we would definitely like to make the best product possible. But right now, our headspaces are just not in the best of place, and we need the best funding possible
Mm-hmm.
to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Literally. Like,
And I
that's
do
the
feel
crazy
like, bro,
part.
we really need to start to really understand the humanity aspects of those things. And, to say, but I kind of feel like, are companies allowed to show that human nature? Like, bro, like we are scared for our lives. How can you tell me to do all these edits to make sure this is together when I just never know when I look up?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yeah. That's right. Let me get your thoughts on it for because I have some thoughts on that
Um.
too.
So yeah. Like, you, okay. If you can't have a game or a company if there's no people to play it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
you can't you can't have a kingdom if there's no people to king. People to lead or people under your kingdom. So you have to acknowledge these things are these what we do is a bonus, is entertainment.
Mm. Mm.
It's necessary. I absolutely believe it's necessary, and I also believe it's not as important as certain things. You know what I'm saying? This is I wouldn't say almost, I would say a privilege to be able to have it because you have everything else functioning the way you want it to, right? To be able to, hey man, long day at work, let me get some R&R, let me be creative. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Let me
Mm.
express myself. But in wartime, you guys, what because of what's going on, who has time to express themselves? I would have if I was like, yo, listen, we have to put the game on hold. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'll move that. I'll disband the team temporarily, or if I'm Microsoft, hey, can you guys help? Since you guys obviously are into charity work, this is a situation that's beyond our control. Um,
You got the bread.
some of them are probably already like, hey, we gotta make bank. Let's just get it out there and we'll work with. I see two things, they're probably like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to release? They probably had a meeting already. You have the option to delay it again, or no, let's get it out. People have been waiting on long enough. We don't want to do that. We'll fix it while we go. We'll get it done. We'll work hard, and they just probably wanted to get it out to breathe. So I don't know what I can see the creative side of, for me, all right, I want to do some things right now, like with the way things are, I might as well just get it out there now and worry about the consequences later.
For
You know,
sure.
the only thing I can do is learn. So with them, they probably they want to get this in the hands of the people, and they're probably banking on, hey, maybe these guys, the fact that people are saying there's a game in here somewhere, they're saying, not saying that, okay, I'll give you guys a pass. But I would have delayed the game. Um, once I realized the entire staff was Ukraine, I was like, come on, man. Any game that's coming out of either Russia or Ukraine, I'm not gonna, my expectations for you or wherever, I'm not expecting you guys to finish the game. Like this COVID kind of helped us realize. That's why I really haven't been so gun ho on this gen, because those were world events. What can you do? The world has to work in a stabilized form for you to even have entertainment. Other than that, you don't have anything.
Definitely, right? You're not going
Everything is
to
going to be spears and arrows, and you
right.
know
God forbid World War III breaks out tomorrow. You're not gonna be like, man, but that last Mission
the
Impossible, right? Like that's the
the
last thought in
mundane
your
the
mind. Yeah,
mundane is what you want. The
yeah,
mundane is a blessing.
yeah,
Knowing that tomorrow might just be exactly the same is a good thing,
yeah.
right?
It's a
Because you have
privilege
the
we
option to
take
make it
for granted.
interesting. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the option to make it interesting.
Hmm.
So. Yeah, I would have either, because to me, what I was thinking is like, okay, they probably came to terms. They were probably like, yo, what do you guys want to do? Hey, let's get it out there, man. The people waited long enough. We'll fix whatever. We'll do whatever we can on our end. Or the other hand, it was like, yo, if we delay it, we don't have any, there's a lot of things. So I don't know exactly. Those are the scenarios that I see in my mind. Um, am I upset? I'll wait it out, man. I would have taken a delay. I would have been okay with that. Those are events you have no control over, man.
Yeah,
Your parent, you're losing a loved one, da da da. You have to yield, man. The machine cog has to stop. It's
yeah.
not, it's we're not. This isn't Skynet. So yeah, if you don't have a people, what are you gonna do? There's nobody to play our game.
I agree. I think the only thing that I will say, right, because I'm in agreement with both of you guys. Like, I think there was a chance and opportunity here to really speak to the humanity of the teams behind these products that we consume, right, and enjoy and entertain ourselves with. I think the risk that's being made here, though, however, is you lose just by default a little bit of that empathy once you release a product for purchase, right? So essentially, it's like if I'm a fan of a musician and the musician's like, hey, through a vlog, I was able to get this album out, but I've been going through things emotionally, mentally, whatever the case may be. I can empathize with that, right? The humanity side of me can empathize with it. But once you tell me here is this like the best of what I could do at this time that I now have to purchase with my own hard-earned money through all the stuff that I'm going through, you now open yourself up to almost you got to take with whatever comes with that, right? You may not
Okay.
get that same level of empathy now that I have to pay for this product because I'm paying for something that is, by your own admittance, not your best work. That, by your own admittance, is incomplete. So like that's why I was like I wanted to discuss it. Comes like I think yes, I do think that just delaying it would have been the best. Like I think again you have people are going to be irrational, right? But I think you would have gained the majority, and you could even tell with some of the reviewers, like maybe there's deeper critiques that they want to give, and they're holding back out of respect for the development team, right? Like imagine going through all you go through, you put out a game, and every major publication is kicking its back in, right? You'd be like, yo, like what was the point? I just think like that's just something that you risk of like, even with the podcast, right? If our quality was completely off, right? If we didn't make necessary edits on the back end to put out a quality product and everyone's like, this is the worst podcast I've ever heard. You got to kind of take what comes with it because you've now released it. You hope people will be understanding, but they, especially if it's something that they have to part with their money for, you've now opened an unnecessary door. It's just the way I look at it.
Oh
Like
yeah, okay, I agree
that's
with
all.
you. I like to add on too, and then at the same time, this this thing is just a little too political. So because they're like, oh well, billions are being sent over there, XYZ. So, you got that type of
No,
rebuttal, but
yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
you know,
You're never gonna get 100% of anything. I just feel
yeah.
like in
So
that situation is like you have again, you essentially have the goodwill of the people to lose.
yeah,
Right?
in that
That's
sense,
all I'm saying.
in that sense, a delay would have a delay would have sufficed.
Yeah, we
So
all would have been like, well, hey, do what you need to do.
yeah, maybe a
Like,
month delay that would have been fine.
yeah.
So
If a vow got
yeah,
to come first, like by all
Give
means,
us a delay. We will have to announce a delay, but hey, if you would like to support us during this time due to the
yes,
political reasons,
you could get
yes.
here's
early
our
access.
GoFundMe. So
Okay.
that way, they could be sustained while they actually wait,
hmm
Hmm.
I agree. I just thought it was worth bringing up. I'm just like, man, like it's such a touchy thing of like in any other scenario, right? In any stable scenario, if you had done this, I'm kicking you back in. Like I'm hopping on this microphone and letting
Yeah,
y'all have it. But in this
you
situation,
can
it's like
be. Yeah,
1000%. But like in this case, like you guys have all my empathy. I'm just like, I just think when you release it like this, of like you again, especially some of the less involved game consumers who are like, oh, let me watch this review real quick. I see this game in the store. I did like their first Stalker, and all you're seeing is wait. I may never come back to it now. It might be fire in 3 months. Too late. I'm already in 2025 playing Capcom Final Collection 2. Like, I don't care anymore because that's just the way, like the machine works, essentially.